This is not.
Parents, your cousin already put one of his workers online at the pizza shop. Come on.
Okay. So let's go. Just
where are you starting, please?
Esamad Aleph on the bottom.
We haven't had that in such a long time, Rabar. I had no choice.
Yeah. Okay. You ready? You hear me? Okay. So
yes.
So we said, it's always good to start off Cholamayid with an interesting Gemara. Yeah. So Imhaya Liba, if her heart was attractive, meaning her chest, I'm sorry. I mean, that's Liba.
Where are you saying, please?
Ches Samid Aleph, around 10 lines up from the bottom.
You said Ches.
Ches. You and your son-in-law want us to start from Tes. You're on the same page.
Happens to be if we get up to finish up for today. It's very geschmack. The whole Shimshin is very geschmack asugyu.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get 3 blot in now. No, 2 blot. We'll see. So, anyways, if Imhaya Liba, so if her chest was attractive, so then you don't tear her clothing, right? And then if her hair was nice, you don't undo her hair. So remember the Rabbi Yehuda Chayish Hura. Do you mean to say that Rabbi Yehuda is Chayish for her? Meaning that people are watching this for Rabbanan loy Chayishi and the Rabbanan are not Chayish because it's a machlok kisva. If Hashemin alo, we hear the opposite. The Tanya Ish Mechasanoy Seperek Echad Milafanav. A man, when they give him skila, so he has to be undressed because you don't want the clothing to block the rocks from killing him as ASAP. So a man, they just put on, like a sumo wrestler. Well, not even. No, sumo wrestlers cover from behind.
Loincloth.
But it only covers the front. One in front of her, one in back, and behind them. Because it's all erva, because you could see the woman's asamagam from behind, right? A man goes totally undressed, and she doesn't get. We don't take off her clothing for skila for a woman. So you see why? Because Rabbi Yehuda's chayshid for hear her, right? So it's a stira, meaning is he chash v'hir, is he not chash v'hir? So Rabba, I'm sorry, time of my Shema Teitzim Bezdin Zakos. Maybe because they try and find as many heterim, but when they have to do with a skila, they try and find as many heterim for it up mamish until the the last ditch effort. Right, so in case that happens, then they don't have a yiskaru but pirchei kahuna. Then the pirchei kahuna are going to, meaning if she's dying, okay, so they'll have a taiva for her, but that's it, right? But if she's going to end up being alive, then the pirchei kahuna saw her undressed, and then they're going to chase her. So Hassam, but there, Hamistalka, she died. So since she died, we're not worried about that. Now the next line goes against everything that we learn about looking at pritzas. So I don't know how we can answer this line with based what we learn about looking at pritzas. Okay, it's very nice that the Pirchei Kahuna will not go after her because she's dead, but that they're going to be in a turned on situation and they're going to go after somebody else. So Amarava. The Yetzirah only rules over what the person sees. If the guy sees a woman, he's going to want to go after her. He's not going to want to go after another woman. Right?
So if it's just in his mind, the Yetzirah doesn't bother you?
No, it's saying the Yetzirah is saying that you only go after the person who you saw trust. It's not going to cause you to be turned on to think about other women.
Okay.
Right? So I don't know psychologically if that holds water bisman hazeh or not. Right? So I don't know, because then you could taina that it's mutter to look at schmutz on a screen. Right? Listen, well, we're putting it all out there. It's right, because if it's the only taiva, you're not going to have a taiva to go after another woman, just the woman on the screen, which could have died for all you know to say. Who knows where that woman is, right? Which is obviously not the way we paskin, right? We paskin that Erva on the screen is also awesome.
The tobacco of Kalisha would be the same thing also.
Oh, so that could be. I don't know. Very good point. A very good point. It could be that's maybe where Rabbi Vadia's heter based on, if you don't know what the woman looks like, that you could hear her sing, or some say if you're not seeing her, then you could hear her sing. I don't know. I have to look. I have to look to see if that's what his heter is based on. I wonder. That's a good point. Yeah. Okay. So Rabbi Yehuda kasha Rabbanan like kasha. You have a steer Rabbi Yehuda and the Rabbanan, right? So you're only answering Rabbi Yehuda. What about Rabbanan? Ela Amar Rabbi Yehuda like kasha kedishnin. Rabbi Yehuda is not a kasha because, like we answered, on Talmud Beis, the Rabbanan Nami loy kasha. The Rabbanan is also not a kasha. Of a time of mine, b'shum v'nivasu kol hanoshim, that the woman will get. I think the v'nivasu comes from the word musar. Yeah, right. V'nivasu kol hanoshim, because women are going to see what's going on here, and memela, it's a musar to the women that they don't want to put themselves in a situation where they're going to have to be so embarrassed. And that is so important that we're not going to be so concerned about the men's hearer. But Hassam, that by skila, there's no bigger musr than a woman dying. So therefore we could leave on her clothing. Meaning by the saita, we want her to take off her clothing, we want to embarrass her so much that it influences the women not to, right? Not to do this thing. But by skila, you don't need, skila is the end of the life, so you don't need to keep her undressed to convince the women not to do that.
Why do we need men there altogether? Why do we need men there altogether? If the whole idea is to keep the woman from repeating this kind of act, to push her away from it, to just make it a woman's only event. You need a couple of men to perform whatever.
It's a good point. Let's wait till the bottom of it to see this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So v'chitem 11 but tarti, right? So why don't they do both? Right, meaning give her skila and let her be embarrassed. You have to love Hashem the way you would want. I'm not Hashem. You have to love your chav the way you want.
And me?
Yeah, you hear me?
Nope, we lost you.
Go on to this.
Hold on. Yes, no?
Like there's some kind of interference.
Oh, here we go.
These mini freezes.
Keep going in and out.
Okay.
Down.
Nope, no good.
Now? Still now?
Give it a shot. Now we hear you.
Okay, you know what? Maybe. I don't know. That's hold on. Let me just switch to my regular phone and then. How to do that? Come on. Switching to my phone. Bluetooth having the.
Recording in progress.
Oops, hold on. Sorry. Can you hear me? Yeah, we're good. All right, I hope that's better now. I switched off of a hotspot, whatever. Yeah. Okay, good. So, meaning barula misa yafa. You want to choose for a misa yafa. You don't want to embarrass her, and then have to kill her. It's too much. Okay, so let me read the Rav Nachman Tana. Let's say Rav Nachman that you want to give her a good death is a machlokes tanaim, right? Because meaning we said it's a machlokes with the Rabban Rav Yehuda. So when it says like the kuli ama islu the Rav Nachman, everybody holds the Rav Nachman. Achaba kamiflgi mar savar bizyoina adeflei tfei mitzara de gufe. Again, another deep thing here. I don't know if it's deep, but meaning a heavy psychological thing. That busha, bizayon is worse, or I don't know, worse, better, mitzara de gufe than the body, right? Umar savar tzara de gufe adeflei tfei bizyoina. The tzara of the guf is more than a bizayon. I mean, the machlokes tanaim is what is worse for a person. Would they rather physical pain or emotional pain, right? I guess that would be the way to say it. Or I don't know necessarily emotional pain, but embarrassed. Would they rather be physically hurt or embarrassed, right? So we know we're going to have that, I don't know, later on about that we learn out from Yudah and Tamar, right? That being mavaza somebody is really bad. So it's a rough thing. Okay, fine. If she was wearing white clothing, so the Mishnah says you put her on black clothing. If black clothing fits for her, then you have to put her on you have to put her on dirty clothes, like disgusting clothing. Meaning, nowadays, because of Frumkeit, all the women wear black, right? I don't know, not around here necessarily, but in other towns, they're all wearing black. So for them, black is gewaldic, so it's no big punishment. Right, so then therefore you would put her on disgusting clothing. If she had on her klezov, pshita hashta nevalim hanimi boy, we're making her look disgusting. We're tearing her clothing, undoing her hair, and then you're telling us that she shouldn't be wearing jewelry. So the same as when it says bahani isla b'zayin tfei. Maybe it's a bigger b'zayin that at least she has jewelry. Kedamri inchi shliach artel v'sayim b'sani. He doesn't have any clothing on, but he's still wearing his shoes. Meaning you have a meshugana who's this has happened once or twice in Shayasha folklore. Right, a guy walking naked and all he's got on his shoes. I don't know if he had on the shoes then either. So you think like this guy is meshuga, right? So maybe she'll feel better if she at least has jewelry on. Kamash Malan, that we don't even let her do that. Fine. Well, then we bring a rope and we tie it around the chest. Is this thing ma'akav? Meaning, let's say they don't tie this rope made out of string, from a palm tree. Let's say you didn't do it. So is it ma'akav? Is it meaning the reason why you need to tie this string around her so that her clothing doesn't totally fall off? Sagi, and even with any type of string, and even the smallest type of string would be enough. I don't since she wore a belt, I guess, to attract him. So therefore, they bring this rope to her, and they tie it above her chest. So ma'akev, we say that it should be ma'akev. Meaning, is there something? I don't want to say Kabbalistic, but it's something special specifically about this rope made out of a palm tree, as opposed to just making sure her clothing's on. If all the point is to make sure her clothing stays on, so use a pin or use anything. It doesn't have to be made out of mitzri. So they bring a rope and they tie it above her chest. So her clothing shouldn't fall off of her. Right? So it sounds like it should not be ma'akiv. Right? Because the main point is to make sure her clothing doesn't fall off her. Okay. And anybody who wants to come see could come see. Hakufa kasha. This is in itself a stira, right? This is what Yeshua was asking. We said anybody who wants to come watch the proceedings can see. There's no difference whether it's men or women. Then we say all women are mutter to see her. Nashim in and nashim lay, but only women can watch, not men. So it's a stira. The Mishnah means it's only going on women. That should be very good. Only women are allowed to watch this, not men. So I'm really it says whoever wants to watch. Right? It means that whoever wants to come can watch, whether it's men or women. But women are chayev to watch. Right? We like this pasuk we said on top of them, that it's supposed to be a mussar for the woman, and they shouldn't do it like this nus. So we want to scare the woman. So women are chayiv to see it, and men are not chayiv, but they have the option. Right? I don't understand. That means how far away do the women have to be? That means they have to come from all over the world, or only those that are there in the vicinity have to watch. It sounds like from here you want every woman watching.
And married women, single women, what kind of divorced women? What are we talking about?
It doesn't say, right? Right? It doesn't say. It just says all
The
women.
Gemara doesn't define what a woman is.
It is not. Nope. Right?
Still doesn't answer. Still, I don't feel like it really answers the question.
Well, the first shot is saying like you. The first shot saying like you. Men are not supposed to go. I mean, you have a kasha now on the second shot, but at least we have one shot like you. That's the main thing.
Okay. So
Right.
smile and move on with life. Okay, fine. Very good.
Listen, the pasha, the teretz that all the svarim will bring, I don't know if they bring it or not, they're going to say, like, since they're so busy watching, same reason that a male doctor could take care of a female. It's avid de torah. They're busy. So they're busy watching the halacha, the halacha shabai, and they're not going, it's not going to cause here. That's what we would say. Whether that's actually true or not, I have no idea. Right? Okay. Fine. Now we get into the Musa. So B'mida Shadam Maidid Ba, Maidid in Loi. And as we all know, this is 100% true. Right? The Mida that you whatever you get what you deserve. Right? Right? But the Mida Shadam Maidid Ba, I'm sorry. V'mida sha'adam maidid, comma. Whatever mida you measure yourself, that's how Hashem is going to measure you. Why? He kashtas atzma l'avera. She got herself dressed up for an avera. Makom nivala. She ends up being disgusting. He Gil says atzma l'avera. She revealed herself. Hamakom gila, so she gets megula. Right, she first made the avera started with her thigh because that's where the man is going to touch first, and then with the stomach. We'll see in the Gemara what this is. Lafika tilka hayerach tchila v'achar kacha beten. If the drink takes effect, so the thigh gets affected first, and then the stomach. The sharka laguf loy palat. And then the rest of the body doesn't go free. It also gets punished.
Does anything happen to the man? This is not a bezdin. If he's mizana with a woman and goes to bezdin with Adam, so he gets killed also.
I think something does happen to the man. No,
I don't know.
I think it's later on, but I don't remember for sure if it's later. I don't know if it's later on in the Gemara, but I think something does happen to the man.
I think it is later in the Gemara brings it up.
Yeah. But the question is she didn't necessarily do it, right?
What? What do you say?
I mean, this is all in the assumption that she did it, but we don't know that she did it, right? This is all on the tzad that she did it.
Well,
right?
she's not going to get the oynish is not going to happen unless she did it, right?
Right, but I'm saying so we're putting her through all this busha on a suffix.
Well,
yeah, I'm saying that's what it is.
Well, somebody said she saw them.
No, they only saw them be beyichud. You don't know if they did anything.
I'm saying so. Somebody suspected them of doing something.
Correct, but it doesn't mean that it was beyichud. I'm saying it doesn't mean that they actually did it. Yes, she's not getting the Tzaddikus of the Year award. That's for sure. But it doesn't mean that here the Gemara is making it sound like we treat her like she did it. Right? Yeah. Okay. Whatever. So let's see. So now we get into some musar. Amar Rav Yosef. Afal gav the mida patela. Even though that mida was batal, meaning the Rashi says the arba misas bezah, meaning we no longer give misa, but mida loy batal. But it's not batal. That measurement is not batal. Amar Rav Yosef v'chein taner Rav Chiya mishum b'yom shechar b'samikdash ampi shebatal sanhedri arba misas loy batal. Right. Even though the Sanhedrin is gone, the arba misas is not batal. But batal, Gemara says, what do you mean? We don't give misa anymore. Ella din arba misas loy batal. The din of our misas wasn't batal. Why? Because mishan is chayiv skila. I know from agagoy chayat der sasit. Somebody who's chayiv skila will either fall off a roof, or he'll be trampled by a chaya. Mishan is chayiv sreifa. I know from b'dleik will fall into a fire. I nachash machicha, or a nachash will put in the venom, and that's like sort of burning. Mishan is chayiv hariga, and somebody who's chayiv to have his head cut off. I nimser lemalchus like listin b'inalav. Either the malchus is gonna get him, or listim are gonna behead him. Mishan is chayiv chanika, and somebody is chayiv to be choked. I tevei banar. He's gonna either drown in a river, and in a river it says I meis bisrunchi, or he's gonna die with some sort of throat, where the throat gets very large and chokes him to death. Right? Okay, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to understand because saying, does that mean that somebody dies in an accident? Does that mean he was chayiv skila? Right. Anyways, right. So the Gemara says, Tanya, we learned in the Brisa. Oh, you Rebbe Omer. How do we know that whatever measure you get is going to be given out to you? Meaning, what goes around comes around. With an exact measure, you're gonna deal with it when you really fight with her, right? Meaning, but CSO is going to take a play on words and call it from the word saw, which is a measurement. Ainly a saw. That only tells us a saw. Minay l'rabbe's tirkov v'chati tirkov. How do you know it comes to include a tirkov and a chati tirkov, which is a chati saw, right? Kav v'chati kav, or a kav and a half a kav, roiva v'chati roiva, or a quarter of a kav, or a half of a quarter of a kav. Yeah, taimen v'uchla minayin. And how do you know that even taimen and uchla, those are that's a really small, right? Nobody's doing taimen and uchla for the matzahs and for the wine on Pesach. That taimen and uchla is off the charts, literally. Right? So what about that? Tamar Laima, kikol sa'ayin sayin barash. For every measure you have is measured. You measure it with noise. Yeah. How do you know that every pruta combines to a big cheshbon? Meaning, you may not get punished for the first thing you do wrong. Hashem's going to wait and let it accumulate, and then you're going to get whacked. Right, one onto another, and then you're going to find the cheshbon. Right, you're going to find the same thing by saita. Whatever measurement she had, we give to her. He amda pesach pesa lirois lo. She stood by the door to see him. He shows her. She stands by the shar nikanor, and she's embarrassed everybody. He pierced sudrin noyin al roisha. She put a sudr, what do you call it? A shmata on her head to make herself look nice. So the kohen takes the kippah, the covering of her head, and puts it by her feet. He kashtalei paneh. She put on makeup on her face. Lefikach on Tamar Aleph now. Her face becomes, now literally face becomes green, but what it is her face starts sinking in and she starts looking really disgusting. She put makeup on her eyes, so her eyes stick out. She braided her hair, therefore the kohen takes out her hair. She showed him a finger, and I guess she called him over with her finger. Therefore, her fingernails fall out. All right. We had this before. She wrapped a belt around herself. So the kohen brings the rope around her. The kohen and ties it above her chest. He pushed She stuck out her thigh. Therefore, her thigh falls out. He kibalto. Al Kreisa, he's makabler on her stomach because he has to lay on her stomach because he got fit mitzvah. So her stomach therefore blows up. He hichilasai madane oilam. She gives him a madane oilam, meaning madana means pleasures of the world. The figure karbana Michael behema. Therefore, her carbon, we said this, is made out of barley, which is animal food, because he was like an animal. He ishkaseu yain meshubach because it's meshubachim. She gave him good wine in nice cups. The figure kain mashka mayim amarim b'mekida shalcheres peres. So the kain does the opposite. He gives her bitter water in a earthenware kli. He also subbeseisa. She acted. She did her demaisa in hidden. Yoshe b'seiser elyon samba upon him, and the one that sits Yoshe b'seiser elyon, which we did not say tonight, right? Puts his face onto her. Shenemar va'ayin noyav shomer lashev lemar loy sishruni ayin. Right? The mezana, the noyav means something disgusting, is waiting for the night, and to say nobody's going to see me, meaning they want to be mezana at night, so nobody sees them. Davar acher, he also said b'seiser. She did it hiddenly. Hamakam pirsama begali. Everybody's going to end up finding out about it. Shenemar. Somebody who covers something that is hated, right? It's going to end up being uncovered. Fine. And now we learn out from achas that we find the cheshbon, meaning the cheshbon accumulates. Kikol sayin barash. Why do you need that another pasuk that says everything adds up? So my answer is l'kamida. Meaning what it means, it's all based on the measurement, right? Meaning it's the way the person is over on the Yisurim, so that's the way it's going to be given to him. Fine. We have to me'achar the nafkali michi call sign barash.
Okay,
Since
so
we're saying
find, let's say they didn't do all of these. What happens? So they were just mamish mizana without doing,
this whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I would think that it's a loy plug. You cover all the bases or uncover all the bases. I don't know. Mayor, can you bring me a tissue, please? Mayor, thank you. All right. That's what I think. But anyway, so Gemara is saying, okay, so what do you need the other pasuk for of sign? Besasa. So Gemara answers, I'm sorry, this is part of the kasha. Besasa b'shilcha turivenu lamali. Why do you need the pasuk, the original pasuk of that you have to do it with exact measurements? Look, so Rav Chinan Bar Papa, Rav Chinan Bar Papa, Eina Kadosh Baruch Hu nifrim min ha'umas ad shas shilucha. Here you mamish get into a Pesach sugya. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not take punishments from a nation and until it's mamish. He doesn't destroy the nation till it's time to be fully destroyed. Meaning not destroyed. Meaning he doesn't take payment from them until it's time to be fully destroyed. Shenema b'sasa b'shalcha, with an exact measurement when she gets sent away. So Gemara says, "Any, it's not true." Shloisha kaisos amuras b'mitzrayim lama. What are the three kaisos? Thank you. What is it? What's the? Okay, excuse me. I'm sorry. Any, it's not true. V'amarava. This has to do with Pesach mamish. Shloisha kaisos amuras b'mitzrayim lama. Why were the three kaisos mentioned when by what's it called? The Saramashkim. When he had in his dream, so he saw three kaisos in his dream.
Yosef.
No.
No, but by Yosef.
By Yosef, yes. But I'm saying he's telling his dream over to Yosef.
Correct.
Right? Yes. He's telling over his dream to Yosef. So there were three kaisos, right? What is it? Right, the Sarah Mashkim had three kaisos. I'm not remembering the pasuk now. I don't have it on the side of my Gemara. All right. Yeah. Whatever it is, but that Rashi brings this pshat and Arbe Psachim that those three kaisos. That's why we have three kaisos. Why we have the three kaisos in? It's another reason, right? One was drunk. Maish, is that picking up a lot of background noise there? No, okay. One was
they drank by Moshe. V'achas just been made Paro Nechei, and one was by Paro Nechei, right? That's by what do you call it in Bavel? V'achas just see the lishtos im Chavrei Se'er. That's when that Rashi says it's going to be during Mashiach's time. That's when it's going to. They're all going to drink this. So that's what it means. V'chitema, meaning so you see that there is going to be. Meaning Mitzrayim seem to have been destroyed, right? They all went into the Yamsuf and they destroyed, but you see that they survived. We just got finished saying that Hashem is not going to take the punishment until they're not going to punish them until it's fully destroyed. Okay, right? When are you going to say maybe the Mitzrayim then were destroyed by and the Mitzrayim that we're talking about now, or that's going to be destroyed by Mashiach, those are different. That's a different Mitzrayim. Maybe it has the same name, right? But it's not necessarily going to be the same nation, right? Well, Tanya, Amar Reb Yehuda, Minyamin Gera Mitzri Hayuli Chaver with Talmidim Rebbe Kiva. Minyamin, who was a Ger Mitzri, he was a friend of mine with Talmidim Rebbe Kiva. Amar Minyamin Gera Mitzri, Ani Mitzri Rishon V'Nasasi Mitzri Rishon. The din by a Mitzri is that the first 3 generations cannot come into Klal Yisrael. So he said, I'm a Mitzri Rishon, and I married a Mitzri Rishona. Asi Lebni Mitzri Shniya. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to marry my son who's a 2nd generation Mitzri, and is going to marry a girl 2nd generation Mitzri. Kadeshi Ben Beni, but to love it. So then my grandkid is going to be a 3rd generation, and that's going to be it. Right? Right? So therefore, so you see that there are original Mitzrayim around, because otherwise it would be also for them. And again, we're saying that the Mitzrayim that are around now are not the same nation. If they're not the same nation, they should be able to marry into Klal Yisrael. But you see from this story that we still don't let them marry into Klal Yisrael. So it's got to be the same Mitzrayim. Not a nation he'll take punishment from, but he's not going to take a punishment from a king until it's the end, until it's time for him to go. Shenema, Bisasa, Bishalcha to Riveno, when we're going to be with exactly the exact way that it's calculated when he sends it out. Okay. Hamemar, Masni Lohad Rabchinah Rapapa. What is it in the pasuk? Ki ani Hashem loisenesi v'atem b'nei Yaakov loichelisem. Right? I'm sorry, not senesi. Loishanisi. I am Hashem. I haven't changed, and the b'nei Yaakov haven't loichelisem were not destroyed. Ani Hashem loishanisi. I'm Hashem that haven't done it. I haven't changed. Loihi kesi leuma v'shanisi lo. I didn't hit a nation, right, and then hit it again. B'atem b'nei Yaakov loy kalisam, and you b'nei Yaakov have not been destroyed. Hanu d'chsiv chatzi ochla, chatzi achalabam. Right? I'm gonna use my I'm sorry, not chatzi, chitzai. Chitz, a lot of psukim here. Chitzai, my arrows. Achalabam are gonna destroy them. Right? Which chitzai kolin, the arrows are gonna be used up, and kolin, but they are not gonna be finished. Meaning Hashem could theoretically punish without going all the way, without going all in the punishment. Fine. Hashem does not take punishments from people until he's fully calculated, meaning until he lets it accumulate until he deserves the punishment. Right? So in the how do you touch that? Whatever he wants, the Malay Sifka, whatever he wants, then Yetzer Loi. Then after that, he's going to come tzaras onto him. Meaning, so once his desires that he's doing that are wrong are going to end up, once he fills it up, then he's going to get destroyed. Right? Tzaddikim should sing. Right? For those that are straight, it's proper to give praise. I'll take Nova Sihila, Ella Neve Sihila. Right? It should be a Neve, right? Which is like a big fancy house. Zem Moshe David, Shaloi Shaltu, Seneim B'Maseyim. It's David, it's Moshe and David that their enemies didn't get any hana from what they did. David Siv, Tibu Baritz Shara, and the gates sunk into the ground. Right? Meaning when they were attacking Yerushalayim, then instead of them being able to capture it, sunk into the ground. Moshe Damar Mar Mishnivne Mikdash Rishon. When the first base of Mikdash was built, Nignas Ayal Mayid. Ayal Mayid was destroyed. Krashav, Brichov, Avamudov, Adonov, all those things. So hey, Chidimar says, so where are they hiding? Meaning the Goyim never captured them. Okay, so where are they hiding? Under the streets that are under the Heichel. Right? Meaning, I guess somewhere by the old, what do you call it? The how do they call it by the Kaisel? The Kaisel walls?
The tunnels?
The tunnels, yeah, somewhere in those tunnels. Fine. So Tanrabanan. All right. Now back to, we're done with the Musar. Now we're back to what the Saita gets. It's Saita Nitna Yineh B'Misha Ena Roila. The Saita put her eyes on somebody who she shouldn't have looked at. Masha Biksha Lo Nitna. What she wanted, we don't give her. Masha V'Yadan Atumim. And not only that, not only did she not get what she wants, we even take away what she has. Shekala Nice and Ena, but Masha Ena Shaloi. Anybody who puts his eyes on something that doesn't belong to him, Masha Mavakish ain't nice to like what he wants. They don't give him. Masha V'Yadan. Not only that, but what's in his hand, they take away from him. On to Beis now. V'chein Matzinu money by the first snake. He put his eyes on what was not meant for him, meaning on Chava. What he wanted, he didn't get Chava. And even what he had was taken away from him. I said that the snake is going to be in charge of everybody, of all of the animal kingdom, right? He's cursed from every behemoth and every chayes. I said that he should go like standing up, right? Now he's going to go on his stomach. I said that he's going to eat what men eat. Now he's going to eat dirt. He says, I'm going to kill Adam and I'm going to marry Chava. Not only they did not get that, there's an anger between him and the snakes and humans. The Kayan, the Kairach, Ubilam, the Doeg, Vachitoifel, the Gechazi, Babshalom, Badainio, Bazio, Bahaman. Shenadon name Masha Aina Royalahem, Masha Bikshu Lanidalem, Masha Yalam not Lumehem. Right? Fine. Yeah, if it was another day, I guess we could go through all these different cases. Yeah, fine. B'yerech is Chila Avera. So since she started with the Yerech, so then that's what goes
afterwards.
Yeah, so the Yerech is Chila Avera. She started with the Yerech. We know immediately. So Ilay Mishum Dechsev B'Seis Hashem Es Yirechik Nefeles Ves B'Tinech Tzava. If you say it's because that it says when Hashem is going to make the thigh like fizzle, and the stomach is going to blow up. It says the opposite. The pasuk says her stomach is going to go first and then the thigh. So which one is it? Right? It seems to be a stira. What goes first, the thigh or the stomach? So layet chila yerech v'hodar beten layet. Meaning first, when the curse, the thigh gets cursed first and then the stomach. Umaya kibodki, but when the water actually goes into her and checks her out to see if she was guilty, it tests out her stomach first and then it goes to the thigh, because that's the way liquid goes into the body. The klal anamiksiv, but the Gemara asked, but the klal it also says litzvais beten olapel yarach. It still says the stomach first. So my answer is ahu the maidel akayin the beten bereish v'hada yarach. Right? That's only that the kohen should tell her when he's warning her what's going to happen if she's guilty. He tells her your stomach's going to go and then the thigh. So that it shouldn't say lashon hara on the mayim amorim, because basically, if the kohen doesn't say what's going to happen exactly, so then if it doesn't happen exactly the way he said it, then they're going to start saying, you see, the water is not working. Right? Even though I don't clearly understand it, because even if it hits the thigh first, but wait a minute, and then it'll go to the stomach. Or if it's going to go to the stomach, then it'll go to the thigh. It's not like we're talking about Haitzi Laz. For a minute. It's not. You're not talking about. I guess maybe they had ADHD then. They're afraid that one guy will be there, and then he's going to leave before he sees it stretch out to the stomach. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so that's that. Fine. Shimshon. Then, I mean, the Olam knows the story of Shimshon. It goes through a few prakim and shayftim. Basically, he was a Nazir, that we know. He was a Nazir from the mother's stomach. And then he wanted to get the Plishtim, so he ended up first trying to marry a Plishti woman. And then they took it away from him. The father-in-law took his wife away and gave it to somebody else, so that got him upset. So he went and he wiped out the fields with foxes. Then he went and he had a fight and he killed out, I don't even know how many Plishtim. Then they sent him another lady to marry, that's Delilah. Right, and they tried to get her to find out where Shimshon's strength came from, until she finally convinced. I mean, this is the very basic of the story. Until she finally convinced him to shave his head, and then he shaved his head, and then they captured him, and then that's when he died. When they knocked out his eyes, and then they put him into this building, and they were making litzanis out of him, and he davened to Hashem that he should be able to collapse the whole building by pushing against the beams. And then he died with the rest of with like thousands of Plishtim. That's a very short part of the story, but bottom line is that what seemed to have gotten him in trouble was that he was going after non-Jewish Plishti women.
Yeah, that's not the same story that they showed us in Hebrew school in the cartoon.
I'm sorry to disappoint you there, Jesse. Yeah. Anyways, so Shimshon halach achar einav. Shimshon went after his eyes. Right. So the same thing I was saying with the Sotah. That's why when the Plishtim finally got him, they knocked out his eyes. Shenemar, they grabbed onto him. They knocked out his eyes. Avshalom, Avshalom. We had this in Nazir, right? He was David's son who tried to take over the whole Melucha, and he had long hair. Right. That's what got him. That's what got him killed. Lefikach, the Basari, he was hung by his hair. Ulafishabal Eser Pilakshe Aviv, and he slept with 10 of the Pilakshim of his father. Lefikach Nasnavoy Eser Lunvais. Therefore, they murdered him with 10 arrows or spears. Shenemar by Yasoibu Asara Naaram Noise Kleyoy. It's either Noise, it's either Anoshim Naaram with different gears. Okay. Ulafish Shaganav Gimel Gnevas, and since he stole 3 things, Leiv Aviv, Leiv Bezdin, Leiv Yisrael, he stole his father's heart, the heart of the Bezdin, and the heart of Yisrael, meaning he went around town with a letter saying that he's the future king, and he fooled everybody with it. And he got a whole Bezdin to back him up. So that's what that means. Shanemar, okay, whether you say this, Vayignav Avshalom is Leiv Anshe Yisrael. Fikach Nitzku by Gimel Shvatim. So again, there were 3 spears stuck into him. So I'm not sure. It's like, I guess it was 13 altogether. They took 3 spears and they put it into Avshalom. And the same thing with those that do good. Miriam waited for Moshe for an hour. Right when Moshe was born, so she waited for Moshe. She stood by the water to watch what was going on. When she got saras, saying Lashon Hara, so the Klal Yisrael waited for her to get better. Miriam. They didn't travel until Miriam came back from her saras. Yosef was the one that was zeicha to bury his father, but his brothers weren't better than him. Shenemar vayal Yosef likvaras Aviv vayal imo gam rechav gam parashim. So when he went up to bury his father, they took him with rechav and parashim. Milanu gadol Yosef. So who was greater than Yosef? Shalenas aska by Ela Moshe, and Moshe was the one that was Isaac in burying Yosef. Moshe zacha ba'atzvus Yosef ein be Yisrael gadol mimenu. Moshe was the one, he himself, he was the greatest, and he was the one that was Isaac in burying Yosef. Shenemar yikach Moshe atzvus Yosef ima. Mi gadol Moshe shalenas aska by Ela hamakom. And who was the one that was Isaac in burying Moshe? Hashem himself. Shenemar v'yikor Isaac bagay loyal Moshe b'vad amru ela kol tzadikim. It's not only Hashem, it's not only Moshe who Hashem is involved with the burial, but it's even It's all tzaddikim. Meaning all tzaddikim. Shenemar v'holach l'fanecha tzidkecha kavoid Hashem yasvecha. Right, your tzidkas are going to go in front of you, and Hashem is going to bring you in. Yasvecha, bring you in. Fine. So Tana Rabbanan, Shimshon be'enov morad. Shimshon was he went against Hashem with his eyes. Shenemar v'yem Shimshon alav of Isa kachli kihi yishar be'ena. He told his father, "Go take the Plishti woman because I like her." Lefikach nakru Plishtim es enov. That's how they knocked out his eyes. Shenemar v'yachsu Plishtim v'yinakru es enov. The Gemara says, "Any, it's not true." But his parents, the next pasuk there says, his parents didn't know that the reason why he wanted this Goyish girl was in order to sort of like infiltrate the Plishtim. What he's doing, he was going with what was Yasher in his eyes, meaning yes, the reason why he was doing this was ultimately to help Klal Yisrael, but he let his desires. He did have some desires, so he wasn't fully erlich about it. So therefore, that's what it means, a punishment. Okay, very difficult to understand. Fine. Tani Rebbe kilkuloi ba'aza. His destruction started in Azal, meaning when he started going down because he noticed her. That's what he got wiped out in Azal. Right, he saw an Isha Zaina when he went down to Azal. Therefore, he got destroyed in Azal. When they captured him, they took him right when Delilah cut off his hair. So then they captured him to Azal. But it said he went to Timnah, not to Azal. No, it started all in Azal. Right? So afterwards, he loved a woman, and her name was Delilah. Tani Rebbe Yomer Nikra Shema Delilah. If her name would not have been Delilah, Ruya Haisa Shatikra Delilah, she should have been called Delilah. Right? Why? Dildala as Kaichai, because she took away Shimshon's Kayach. The Dildala as Levi, Dildala as myself, Dildala as Kaichai, and he took away his heart and his actions. Dildala, I'm sorry, I did a run on there. Dildala as Kaichai to Seva Yosef Kaichai me Allah. She took away his Kayach. Dildala as Levi, the Seva Tera Delilah ki Higidla to Higidla as Kal Levi. Right? She got him to tell him everything in the heart. Dildulas Maiso, she took his Maisim, the Stalak Shina Minay, the Shina went away from the Sifu, Hula Yada Ki Hashem Samay Olav. And he didn't know that Hashem was, meaning when he woke up, when they shaved his head, when he went to sleep, he didn't know that he didn't have strength. And Delilah saw that that he said everything else. I'm sorry, hold on, I gotta stop for a minute. Okay, I apologize. I just threw up my guts if you really want to know. I wasn't going to say, but shh. Okay, feels a whole lot better, let me tell you. Okay, I appreciate the patience. Okay, so Mino Yoda, how do we know? Meaning, how did she know? Right? Meaning, basically, okay, we left this part out of the story. Delilah tried to get Shimshon.
We gotta start the recording again.
Oh, see, stop the recording?
We did, it's going.
All right, sorry. Anyways, she tried to do all these shtick to get Shimshon to say where his strength comes from. So Shimshon gave a baloney story. And then she would do it. She'd go report on him to the Plishtim, and the Plishtim would come and say, "Oh, do this, tie him up with ropes." And then they would come attack him, and he would just snap the ropes. And she kept embarrassing him. So like any lady does, she finally went after him and said, "You don't love me." And she mamish did what do you call it on him? Psychological warfare, Hamaven Yovin, yeah, Hamaven Yovin. And she finally got him. To say, so Amar of Chanan, so it means, but Lamaisa, how does she know that this last one was the true one? Right? Finally, he tells her that shave my hair and then I'll lose all my strength. So she got him to sleep, and they shaved his head. But how did she know that was the truth? So Amar Rav Chanan, Amar Rav, Nikrin Divrei Emes. When you can sniff out the truth, right? Okay, I don't know exactly what that means. Abaya Amar Yoda boy, ba'isik tzadik deloy mapik shem shemayim levatola. Right? She knew that he wouldn't say Hashem's name levatola. Right? Kivan do Amar Nazir Elekimani, and when he said to her, "I'm a Nazir of Hashem," Amra Hashta Vade Kushta Komer, then he's for sure saying the truth. Fine. Now we're just going to go through the whole story here, right? And after when Hitzika loy b'dvareha, she did the verbal warfare on him, right? And she kept pushing him. Maiva te'al tzehu. Amar Rav Yitzchak devei Rav Ami b'shas gemar bia nishmata mitachtav. This is real tsar. At the end of the bia, before he could finish, she went out from under him. Then that's a major tsar. So Memela, that's what got him to open his mouth. All right. Va'ata, Hishamri nov al tishti yain b'sheichav v'al teichlu kol tameh. Right. Be careful. Don't drink wine or old wine, and don't need anything tameh. My kol tameh. What does it mean? Don't think anything tameh. So what does that mean? V'su ad hashda dvarim tameim kachla. Until now, Mrs. I was going to say Mrs. Shimshon, meaning Shimshon's mother. What was her name again? No, the father's name was what?
Mommy Shimshon.
Mommy Shimshon. No, but the father's name is what was the father's name? I forgot. All right, I only looked at it an hour ago, 2 hours ago. Whatever he was, she was told, "Don't eat dvarim tameim." What do you mean? She was eating treif before that? Someone of Yitzchak Dvei Rav Ami dvarim hasuna.
Kalpanya or something?
Oh yeah, it could be. Yeah, sounds familiar. Right, someone is a dvarim. Ami dvarim hasurim ben nazir. It's a dvarim that are also ben nazir. Fine. I mean, it doesn't mean something that's nazir also for everybody else, just for a nazir. Don't worry, we're not going to do the whole daf yud. We'll do part of it, and then we'll hopefully catch up tomorrow night. Bez Hashem. Vayivak Elohim es amachtesh asher balechi. Right, Hashem cut open an opening in the lechi. A lechi is a jawbone. Meaning, what happened is another part of the story I left out. So when he got ticked off at the plishtim, so he got the jawbone of because he couldn't become tameh, right? He couldn't become tameh, so he got the jawbone of a cow, right? It was a cow. I don't know. He got the jawbone of a cow, and that's how he killed all the plishtim.
The notes say a donkey.
What?
The notes say a donkey.
Oh, it was a donkey. It was a donkey. Sorry, it was a donkey. Yes, thank you. So he got the jawbone of a donkey, and that's what he used as a weapon to kill all the plishtim. Right? Someone of Yitzchak Dvei Rav Ami, and then what happened is that he was so thirsty after he did this that he thought he was going to die. So he said to Hashem, "This is what I'm going to deserve. After I kill all the plishtim, I'm going to die from thirst." So Hashem made water come out of the jawbone for him to be able to drink. Okay, someone of Yitzchak Dvei Rav Ami. Who evil the davar tameh? He wanted a davar tameh, meaning he wanted to marry a guy. Lefikach nitlu chaya b'davar tameh. Right, of course it's a donkey. Right, therefore his life was tali in a davar tameh. Fine, but tocha ruach Hashem, right? And the ruach Hashem went with him in all the what does the rest of the pasuk say? B'machane dan beis tziro ben eshtal. Omer Rav Chama, Omer Rav Chanina chalsa. It was a Yaakov Avinu. That it was Chal, the Nevuah of Yaakov Avinu happened to Siv. He done Nachash alei derech. Done was going to be a Nachash on the way. The Famoy b'machane done to make noise in machane done. So that's the noise that Shimshon was hearing. That's what Yaakov said in his bracha. The Shechina was making noise in front of him like what do you call it? Like zug. A bell, thank you. It says like a pamoy in Machanadon, ksiv hasam pamoy in Verimon. Right? So meaning the Kohen Gadol walked around with these bells on him. That's we call pamoy. So this too. Between Tzira and Eshtal, Amar of Asi Tzira Eshtal, Shnei Harim Gedalim. They were two big mounds. Shimshon uprooted them, and he ground them together. Who Yachal Ashias Yisrael. Now we're going back to the story. Who Yachal Ashias Yisrael, and he went and he.
What did he do
wanted
with
to-
those? So he uprooted the mountains and ground them, and
Right.
did what? What was the point of that?
I think it was just to intimidate.
Okay.
I think that's what from what I remember, but that's not meaningless. What I remember, I thought it was just to intimidate the Plishtim. Like this guy was a strong guy. I'm sure there's more meaning than that. Right? Who Yachal Ashias Yisrael, and he began to save Yisrael. Amar Rav Chama bar Rav Chanina on Talmud Aleph now. Hoichel, what's a good place to stop? Oh, let's try and get to the two dots. I hope it's not too much for the island. It says that Chalamayid is a time to learn. So we're getting off Baruch Hashem. We're getting off Chalamayid with the bank. Right. So Huchel Shuasei Shel Avimelech. Right. So the Shvu of Avimelech became Chulin. Right. When Avimelech made the deal way back when by Avram that they're not going to start up with each other, that was Plishtim. Right. So then the Plishtim started up with Shimshon. So Shimshon didn't have to keep his end of the deal. If you're going to lie to me, to my son and my grandson, right? That's a pasuk in Bereshis. So since the Plishtim went after Shimshon first, so that's it. All bets are off. But Yigal Hashem, and the Nar grew up, and Hashem benched it. But Ma Berche, what did Hashem bench? This is back to Shimshon now. What did Hashem bench him with? Amrav Yudah Marav Sheberchu Be'amosai. He benched him in his aver, right? Amosai Kibnei Adam. He had a regular aver like anybody else. But the Zera came out of him like a river, right? So so that's also, let's see. Vayikra Shimshon El Hashem Vayomer Hashem Elikim Zachreni Nova Peretz Zachreni Nova Chaskeni No Al Chapam Hazeh Binakman Nekam Achas Mishtei Einei Plishtim. Right? That's a song of the daf right there. If anybody, I'm assuming.
We had one before.
We didn't. We have one tonight already.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go back 42 pages in the article to find it, but we did it.
Okay, we'll take your word for it. What, Delilah? I don't know. Talking about Jewish songs. Well, yeah, okay. So this is what's his name? What's the name of the guy? Who was the guy that sang this thing in this one?
Eddie.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so it says Hashem. He called out to Hashem and make me strong. This is the end. This is when he was already captured and he was blind, and he said, "Just let me take my last revenge from the Plishtim." So Amar Rav, Amar Shimshon Lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem Zcharli Esem V'Shtayim Shana Sheshafat. So remember the 22 years. It's not really 22, right? Because he really says he ruled for 20 years. I didn't tell them even to move his makel from one place to another, meaning he didn't even ask for any sort of payment, even for somebody to move his stick. Right? Now we're going back. I'm not sure why the Gemara is going back in the story. Now Shimshon went and he trapped 300 foxes. And then what he did is he put fire on the tails of the foxes, and they went running through the fields and they destroyed everything from the Plishtim. Talk about antagonizing the enemy, right? So my shna shualim, why do you shualim for? So take an animal that goes backwards, and let them take payment from the Plishtim that went back on their shvuah, meaning a fox will walk backwards. Right? It doesn't turn around; it backs up. I have no idea if this is true or not, but I'm assuming that's what. Yeah, so that's why I use the fox. Tanya Rav Shimon, Amar Rav Shimon Achaz, the bank sefer shel Shimon Shishim Amahayim. Between the shoulders of Shimon was 60 amas. Right. So again, the question is that real or is that just a mushal? Pashtus is it's a mushal. Shenemar v'yishka, meaning that was the amount that he could carry. I think Ben Yehuda says that. Shenemar v'yishka Shimshon ad chatzi alayla v'yakom chatzi alayla v'yechos b'dalsei shara v'shtei mezuzas v'yisam v'mabriach v'yosam al ksevim. Basically, Shimshon went to sleep that night. Right when they tried to attack him, when he went to the first night that he went to the Zionist's house and was with her, they tried to attack him. He woke up and he uprooted the gates of the city, and that was the size of the gates. Ugamiri, Dein dalsas azab chusais mishishim ama. The doors of Gaza were not less than 60 amos. So he toichin bebeis hasurim, and he was grinding in the jail. Right? Amar Rabbi Yochanan, ain't china ela lashon aveira. Grinding means here is the lashon of an aveira. B'chein hu oimer titchon la'achar ishti. Let my wife do grinding for somebody else. Right? Meaning it's a lashon of znus. Melamed shekol echad v'echad hevi lo yas ishtoi lebeis hasurim. All the Plishtim brought their wives to the jail. They wanted to get pregnant from him because he was so strong. It's sort of like when they, the horses that win the races. So they use them as, what's it called? I forgot what they call them.
The breed.
Breeding.
Stud, a stud or something.
Breeding.
Whatever, right? So I mean, the question is, how can he do this? How can he allow this? Right? Fine. Okay, whatever the different pshatim are. Omar Papa Hainu Damri Inchi Kamei the Shasi Chamra. Before you drink wine, meaning not before you drink wine, in front of somebody who drinks wine, bring him wine. Kamei Rafaika Gridaya Dubla. Before somebody who does how do you call it, gardening, bring him a bowl of the dubla of vegetables, right? Meaning because he was mezana with plishtim, so then they brought him plishtim. If a man is mezana, his wife is going to be mezana. Shenemer im nifta libi alisha val pesach rei aravta. Right? If my heart was nifta means that he was mezana. Then he's going to lay at the door of his enemy. My wife should go grind for somebody else. We just had this pasuk, and people are gonna go down on their knees after Achrin. I'm sorry, after V'hainu Damri Inchi. Ihu Bekari. He has big pumpkins. V'itze Beibotzini, and his wife is gonna have small pumpkins. Meaning, he's doing big snus, she's doing small snus, but at the end of the day, Matzah minas minoi. What the way he is the way she's going to be. And you see this a lot, by the way. Sometimes you have like you have these I don't know. You have sometimes a couple, and then you find out that they both have the similar issue. Yeah, then it happens. Shimshon done as he saw kavim shevshemayim. Shimshon was done Klal Yisrael like the Rebbeinu Shem. Shenemer don yodin amay ka'achad shiftei Yisrael. Like Shimshon al shmoi shel Kadosh Baruch Hu nikra. Shimshon was called that al the name of Hashem. Shenemer ki shemesh u'mogen Hashem elikim. I think that's also a song. Ki shemesh u'mogen Hashem elikim. It's like a for a shemesh and a shield. Elamayata lo yimacha. If that's the case, so then it shouldn't be erased. It's meaning the word shemesh. Or shamish, ela me'ain shemosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's like the name of Kadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu making al kol olam kula, just like the Hashem protects the whole world. Av Shimshon megan b'darish al Yisrael. In his dar, he protected Klal Yisrael. Bilam chiga b'ragle achasayim. Bilam was weak in one foot, meaning he was limped. Shenemer vayelach shefi Shimshon chiga b'shtei ragle. I'm sorry, vayelach shefi, and he went limping. Shimshon chiger b'shtei raglav haya. Shimshon was both feet were messed up. Shenemar shvifain alei oirach. Shimshon will be, I'm sorry, done is going to be a shvifain along the ways, along the streets. So shvifain is a lashon of somebody who can't walk straight. So therefore, that must be what it says by Shimshon also. So that's really interesting that he was so strong and he couldn't even walk straight. Okay. I guess we'll stop here. I appreciate the Olam's patience, and so tomorrow night hopefully we'll catch up. It's all Agadata for the next till Erev Yom Tov. So we have to figure out a way to get a little bit ahead before Erev Yom Tov with these massive blot. But anyways, Akut Mayid, Akut Thank you. L'chaim.